In the world of entertainment, there's a lot of personalities and celebrities that are out there performing their job in order for them to entertain us. Some people may admire Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for some of the roles he has gotten in some of the movies he has performed. Some people may admire back in the day Michael Jordan and his awesome abilities as a basketball player when he used to play for the Chicago Bulls. And some people may just like picking up Stephen King's novels just because they like the way he writes. But there's no doubt that there will always be a personality or a celebrity that we are going to admire just because of the job they do. In Latin America, there's a form of entertainment that is highly consumed by viewers, and that is of course telenovelas, which is the equivalent of what Americans know as soap operas. Telenovelas are not just shows that people watch. Telenovelas are part of Latin culture, and just like any other sort of entertainment, actors and actresses build huge fan bases. Even though the performance of some actors and actresses from telenovelas have led them to have careers even on Hollywood, some others have not really gotten that far, and unfortunately some others have their opportunity taken away due to tragedy, which is the case with former Miss Venezuela and former telenovela actress Monica Spears, whose life was taken on January 6 of 2014. But why is this beauty queen who started to shine in her acting in telenovelas no longer with us? We will talk about that as we examine the case of Monica Spears. The best way for you to support the Podcast Dojo is by hitting the like button if you do happen to like the video that you're watching. Hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell button in order for you to get notifications every time we upload a video. Thank you very much for your support. Traveling to Venezuela was a great thing due to what the country offers. Traveling just for pleasures or vacation was not just the only thing that you could do. You could actually go and live in Venezuela and have a very good life. In fact, people from other Latin America countries, instead of going to the United States, they would rather just go to Venezuela and spend their life over there. That's how good Venezuela was. If you turn on the TV and you watch the news, you will notice that the Venezuela that I describe is nothing like the Venezuela that you're going to be watching on TV news in 2019. And that's because the country really shifted from being something that is not anymore. Regardless of its current situation, Venezuela was the country of birth of Monica Spears, who was born in Maracaibo in October 1 of 1984. As a child, Monica was described as smart, independent, outspoken, and somebody who knew what they wanted for their future. She was captivated by telenovelas, and she understood that she wanted to pursue the career of acting. In the year 2000, Monica's mother retired from working on a Venezuelan oil company. The family then moved to Orlando, Florida, which is where Monica went to school and also went to college. Monica graduated and received a bachelor's degree in theater in the University of Central Florida. And regardless of her accomplishments in Florida, she was a proud Venezuelan who left her heart back in her country. Even though she was considered to be a very humble human being, she was not afraid to let the world know how beautiful and intelligent she was, which is why she decided to go back to Venezuela and participate in the beauty contest Miss Venezuela. Besides her beauty, Monica captivated the attention of everybody due to the degree that she had acquired in the University of Central Florida, and also her knowledge on various topics, especially when it comes to theater. She was crowned Miss Venezuela in 2004.
Miss Trujillo, Miss Venezuela 2004 es Miss Puerto, Monica Spears.
The following year, Monica Spears participated in Miss Universe, and even though she did not win the crown, she went as far as being a fourth runner-up. Regardless of her failed attempt on becoming Miss Universe, Venezuelans were still happy and proud on how far she made it. It didn't take long for Monica to be casted in a telenovela. As a matter of fact, in 2006, a year after her participation in Miss Universe, she was casted in her very first ever telenovela called El Desprecio, or The Despise in English. But she wouldn't obtain a lead role on a telenovela until a year after, in another telenovela called Mi Prima Ciela, or My Cousin Ciela. These two telenovelas were so successful that it guaranteed Monica other lead roles in other telenovelas that she did, such as La Mujer Perfecta, or The Perfect Woman in English, and Flor Salvaje, Wild Flower in English. While working in telenovelas, Monica met Henry Berry, a British businessman that she fell in love with. Henry, of course, fell in love with her as well, and they married in 2008. Their marriage, however, would not last that long, as they divorced in 2012. They did have a child, however, later in 2008. Pasión Prohibida, or Prohibited Passion, was a very memorable telenovela for a lot of us who saw it, not just because it was a very good telenovela, but because it was Monica Spears' last telenovela. In it, Monica plays the character of Bianca Santillana, a woman who marries a rich man in order to teach her mother a lesson, but ends up falling in love with Bruno, the nephew of the man she marries. When portraying the character of Bianca Santillana, that's when we get to see Monica at her best, due to the character having so many layers. We get to see her being somebody who doesn't have the best intentions when marrying the rich guy, to somebody who ends up falling in love with Bruno. That love eventually becomes an obsession, and that obsession becomes her death. The portrayal of Bianca Santillana felt so real that when you saw Monica interacting with Giancarlo Canella, who is the actor who portrayed Bruno in real life, it did seem like they had a romance. That, however, is not confirmed. It's just rumors.
Darte las gracias por aparecer en mi vida, por formar parte de mi vida. Eres una persona muy especial, mágica, hermosa. Y para tu cumpleaños, pues te deseo luz, amor, salud para que disfrutes cada segundo de tu vida, para tu alma, para tu espíritu, para tu mente. Que tu mente se abra, que te inspires, que Dios te dé esa inspiración y puedas compartirlo con el mundo entero como siempre lo has hecho. Te quiero mucho, mucho, y no importa si no nos vemos, siempre vas a estar en mi corazón.
The only thing we know is that Giancarlo Canella confirmed that he did love her, but we don't know in what aspect. It could just be friendship. Giancarlo also confirmed that he keeps in touch with Monica's parents. He also wrote a song for Monica after her passing, and he still sings to her when he does concerts. In the year 2014, the Venezuela we spoke about at the beginning of this video was no more. There was more lack of resources, there was more corruption, and there was more violence. Regardless of all of this, Monica still loved her Venezuela, and she planned a vacation with Henry Berry, her ex-husband, and their daughter in order for them to try to fix things and get back together as a family. This, unfortunately, didn't turn out as planned. Monica, Henry, and their 5-year-old were driving in a highway in central Carabobo, Venezuela, when all of a sudden their vehicle breaks down. When the family was waiting for road assistance, there were some individuals that approached the vehicle with the intentions of making a robbery. It is said that Monica and Henry resisted the robbery, and they both got shot, and the 5-year-old got shot in the leg. Thankfully, the 5-year-old survived the shot, but the same thing can't be said about her parents. Monica Spears and Henry Berry were murdered on January 6, 2014. There were 6 individuals that were involved in the robbery that ended up being the death of Monica Spears and Henry Berry. They were all sentenced with several years in prison. 3 men were sentenced each with more than 30 years in prison. Some of those who were found to be compliant only got about 10 years, and for others that were involved with the actual killings and robbery of Monica Spears and Henry Berry had between 24 and 26 years in jail. The death of Monica Spears in 2014 only gave more power to the 2014 Venezuelan protest, which was a series of protests made by Venezuelan citizens due to high levels of urban violence, inflation, and chronic shortages of basic goods that are still going on to this day. Monica's daughter is living right now with her grandparents in Florida, and sometimes other people like Carlos Canela, who play the role of Bruno in Pasiones Prohibidas or Prohibited Passions, checks on her. Even though I wanted to make this video to talk about Monica Spears and her tragedy, I also wanted to say and send a message to all of you who are watching right now, and that is to enjoy life as if it was the very last day that you're living in, because sometimes you may be here right now and you may be enjoying yourself, but you don't know what's going to happen to you the next day. Also, to all my Venezuelan brothers and sisters, please stick together as a country and don't let corruption, violence, or any other thing that is going on in the country define your destiny, and stand up over everything that's wrong. Thank you for watching this video. Have a good one, everybody.